All right, what's up, guys? Decided to make a video on IRP applications and accounts. Reason for it, I get tons of questions every single week on how to get this done. A lot of guys do get confused. For those who have it down packed and know what you're doing, this video is not for you. But the individual who's trying to get their own tags and run under somebody else's authority and they need some help on how to get that done, this is what I'm going to do in this video, is help you out a little bit. Again, I'm no expert. I know enough to get hurt. I can walk you through it and get you real close, man. You'll get the tags. All right, so the first thing you want to know is basically you are getting, you want to be organized. You want to make sure that you have the application properly filled out. You want to make sure you have all the supporting documents attached to this application. Some of them have to be originals. Some of them don't. And we'll kind of just jump right in and kind of dig in. All right, so the first thing you want to do is make sure you have the actual IRP application filled out. What this application looks like is just like that. All right. Looks a little scarier than it is. If you've never done it before, it could be intimidating, but once we walk through it, it'll be no problem. All right. Second thing you're going to be needing is a record-keeping agreement. Signature must be witnessed and notarized. Okay. What this document looks like is right here. All right. Basically what it is, it's actually just a document that states, you know what IFTA is about, you know the rules. You're going to abide by the rules, signed and notarized. All right, so both these documents need to be original because they want your signature in ink. They want it here on the record keeping, and they want the application. Okay, certificate of insurance. This is not your physical damage or bobtail insurance that they're looking for on this. What they are actually looking for is the cargo and auto liability policy. So what's happening here is because you're running under somebody else's authority, they are looking to see that cargo and auto liability certificate with your VIN on there and either your name or your business name. All right, so here we go. This is what that's going to look like. Okay, so I'm not trying to share all that info on there, but now you have an idea of what that certificate. The biggest thing that you want to make sure is that right here on the bottom. Okay, oops, can I move that over? So right there on the bottom is going to be Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, Motor Carrier Services, and it has to have that address. All right, so let me put that up there one more time. Okay, so it's got to have that complete address there. All right, so moving on back to the okay. So that certificate is going to list the cargo auto liability. It's going to have the PIP of 10,000, and it's going to have Tallahassee listed on the bottom as additionally insured. All right, as a certificate holder rather. So now we move on to proofs of address. Okay, so this one here can get a little bit tricky. What's happening is not the carrier asking for this information. It's actually Tallahassee. It's Florida, right? So you want to make sure that your driver's license matches where you actually live, that your bills actually match your address. Sometimes I get it. People move and you're in the transition between moving and so forth. But if these things aren't lined up at the moment, you're going to have difficulty getting this IRP account open. Okay, so you want to make sure you've done all that before you actually start doing this. And again, I don't even know what kind of wait time it is to get licenses updated and all that with this pandemic stuff going on. All right, but things that they'll accept is your Florida driver's license has to be unexpired. A receipt, IRS or income taxes of the current year, bank statements issued to you within the last 90 days. All right, a utility bill, electric, gas, or water within the 90 days, and it has to be issued to your name. Property tax or a registration to a vehicle or title. Now, the title to your truck is not going to count. They're going to want to see a title to, I don't know, whatever vehicle you drive around personally that you currently have. So you will need to satisfy at least 3 of these 6 items in order to prove residency in Florida. All right. So we move down to the next one, which is the title of the vehicle. All right. So this could be a little bit tricky depending on your situation, whether you're actually buying the truck from a dealer and you're rolling it off the lot, or you already own this truck and it's paid off, and whether it's titled in Florida at the moment or it's titled in Oklahoma and wherever. So this is where it kind of gets tricky. All right, so number one, let's give the instance of where you're actually buying a truck. So you're buying a truck from Arrow. Currently, that's the situation I have. A guy's buying a truck from Arrow. The title's from like Ohio or something like that. And so what's going to happen now is once he logs down his agreement and he buys this truck, then Arrow is going to DMV and they're switching that title into his name. And it becomes a Florida title because the guy is a Florida resident. So now it becomes, with that title transfer over to Florida, his name, you generate a Florida title number. With that number, you can fill out this application and everything's okay. Another scenario is maybe a guy bought a truck already and this truck is in existence and finally he's deciding to get his own tag. And because Florida is a titled state, he now has to create a Florida title. So if his title was from Oklahoma or wherever, he now first has to go to the tax collector or his local DMV and change it over to a title Florida. That would be his first step before he can get any of this done. Then he's going to run into the issues of sales tax. That's kind of nature of the beast. So that's why a lot of guys might avoid it. But again, I'm just kind of telling you how to get it done. All right, so that may be another scenario. And another one, maybe it was a lease to purchase and you finally made the payment and now they sent you the actual title, they sent you the closing document, the release, the release of the lien and all that. All those documents you will have to take first, get a title to your name in Florida, and then begin this process. All right. And again, if you got some questions, a specific scenario, you could definitely give me a call or you put it in the comments, what the specific question is, and we can try to help you out that way. All right. Moving along, the 2290. Everybody knows what that is. Well, I shouldn't say that. Most guys know what that is. It's going to be your highway use tax, and that is Schedule V as in Victor, 80,000 pounds gross. That's $550 for the year. Yes, it is prorated, so the closer you get to June 30th, it's going to get cheaper. Okay. You do have an option here. If you've owned the vehicle for more than 60 days, you have to pay it, right? But again, if you've had it for under the 60 days, they're really not going to ask you for that 2290 in order to get you plated. You should just get it done just to get it out of the way. You can easily do that online. We have a link on our website for our guys, expresstax.com. They get that and you get it on same day. But whatever resource you use online to get your 2290, the only caveat is you have to have your EIN number in existence for a minimum of 10 business days. So not including the weekends, 10 business days in order for you to use that online function. Otherwise, you got to go into IRS and do it the old school way. All right. So remember, this scenario that we're talking about is you're leasing your truck on to a company, but you're getting your own tags. So you are actually running under that company's DOT and MC number. All right. So you're going to have to include in this packet your lease agreement with that company. All right. So that's what you would do right here. All right. So those are the line items that you need. Pretty simple. Depending how well you have your affair in order, these documents are fairly easy to generate. Okay. All right. So now let's kind of get to the meat and potatoes. Maybe a lot of guys already knew all that and they have their stuff lined up, but now you come down to this and it becomes problematic because you don't know exactly what to do here. All right. So let's just make a mock application here. So let's say the full name. All right. If I'm doing it under my name. Now, if I purchase this truck under my business name and that's what I'm going to be titled under, then I want to make sure that it's titled under here. So again, this goes back to being organized. These decisions you want to make ahead of time and have it all lined up so that the dealer is doing the proper movements or the proper documentation. So everything adds up at the end. So, let's say I did it under my company name. I purchased this truck under Martinez Transport, LLC, incorporated, whatever my situation may be. Okay. Then second is pretty much easy. I'm going to put your address. All right. Since it's my business. Okay. I'm going to leave it as a business. City. Whole county, zip code. All right. My mailing address, again, it's going to be the same as above. Sorry. All right. So telephone number. Oh, man. right? It would be my email. And again, I got to work on my typing skills. Okay, so in this box right here, this is the DOT number and EIN number. This is where I find a lot of people are getting confused. You are actually only going to put your tax ID number, which is your FEIN number, and that is the EIN number belonging to Martinez Transportation Inc. or whatever company name you have, whatever you'll find it on your SS4 form, SS4 from the IRS. So it'll be something like along the lines, whatever the case may be. Okay. Now, keep in mind at this step, you do not have a DOT number, and even if you do, you're not running under your DOT number. You are running under the person you are leasing onto. So in this case, you leave this blank because this is not your authority. You're running under someone else's authority at this time. Okay. And over to the right, you're going to see the registration year. Obviously, 2021. It's for hire carrier, and it's an original application. Okay. So now that we get down to this portion of it down here, is going to ask us for some generic information that's relevant to our situation. Okay. So transaction type, you're actually going to find it right here in all the codes originally. So a renewal is an R, original is an O, correction, delete a vehicle, add a vehicle, and so forth. So where this one is going to be an O because it's an original application. The unit number, you can ask the carrier what will be your truck number. Okay. I don't know, 1335, let's say. Here you're going to generate the year of the vehicle of the truck. So let's say you've got yourself a 2018. You're going to make the make. Let's do Volvo because I know Mike loves Volvos, so we'll do that. All right, here you can put the VIN number. Make sure it's nice and clear. All right, and that's why you also want to use the fillable format here that they have. Because if you try to if you're writing this by hand, it could get sloppy and just more room for error. So I would suggest you just get this on. Download it and get it filled out there. So you're going to put your VIN number, 17 numbers, I think it is, maybe 18, something like that. All right, type. Okay, it's a truck tractor. Again, the codes are here. So here's the vehicle code. You're finding it right here. All right, then we have number of axles. So that means your truck is 3, your trailer is 2, your fuel is diesel, color, white, red, whatever there may be. The gross weight is going to be full capacity, 80,000 all in. Empty weight, I don't know, 17,500, 18,000, whatever your truck is weighing at the time. You're going to get your purchase date. So whatever your purchase date was. So I don't know, let's just say I purchased it a couple days ago. All right. Owner's purchase price. So let's say I bought this truck for 79 grand. Okay. Now here we got the Florida title number. So remember, that is already in existence once you become a Florida title. So either you were the guy that had an Oklahoma title that converted it to a Florida. It might be an electronic title. It doesn't matter as long as you have that title number. You don't actually have to put the physical title with your package. Again, you might have a title transfer receipt from the dealer. That means they took the old title. They start the process for the new title under your name or business name with the lien holder on it. But getting their hands on that physical title is going to take a minute. So with that title transfer receipt, you can get away with that because it will generate a title number. All right. So now this part here, ladies and gentlemen, motor carrier responsible for vehicle safety. This is where you're going to put the DOT number and the EIN number of the company that you're going to be leasing onto. Okay, that's why we left your DOT number up here blank, because you don't have one. You're actually running under somebody else's authority. So whatever the DOT number is, you can find it on your actual contract, on your lease. Tax ID number, they're going to have one, whatever it may be. You may have to call them for that. I don't necessarily think that you'll find that on your lease agreement. You may have to make a phone call for that. But nevertheless, you let them know what you're doing, and they'll give it to you no matter what. All right. And then it says motor carrier responsible for vehicle safety. So that's that category, and if this will change during the year. Given that you're going to run for them for at least a year, you're not going to be job hopping, the answer is no, it's not going to be changing. If you ever decided to switch companies, you would have to go and make an addendum to this and put the new DOT number and the new EIN number to which the company that you are now running with. So it would reflect them on your actual registration. And I believe that's shown like on the bottom right-hand corner. I mean, even if you open up your permit book now and look at it, you'll see that what company is responsible for safety. All right. All right. So I hope I didn't lose anybody just yet. And then you're actually, oops, I have the guy's name here, my bad. So on here, you're going to print the name, owner, date, and when I print this, I'm going to sign right here. And remember, this document needs to be an original when you are submitting this. All right. Now we get to the second page. All right, this one here, it just depends on when you bought the truck. Even if you were running under a different company's IRP account and you were using those company tags, that's okay. But you still have to furnish some documents with this. So they're going to want to know the miles that you ran last year, okay? Or for this period, right? From July to June, which is actually the same as your 2290. The dates, right? This kind of follows that suit. And what you want to do here is if you don't have these miles written down somewhere, you want to make sure that you call the former company, or if you're with them still, you call them, ask them for actual miles. Because I did do a mistake once thinking that I can estimate, and it didn't end well. Basically, I was told to go back to my, to redo it because the people at Morningstar in Lakeland, nice people, and they let me know, hey, listen, before we even submit this, you probably want to take a look at it, because if it's off, you can generate an IRP audit, and you don't want to do that. And so they actually said it's best if you just get the actual miles, because once it gets submitted, it's in there. It's, they were kind enough to give me the warning, but they said once it's in, and then you got a world of problems. So my advice to everybody, luckily, I was warned not to do it. I don't know, maybe somebody out there has done it, and when you guesstimate this, it didn't end well for you. So it's very simple. Yeah, your miles can be generated now that everybody's on e-logs. Even for my guys, we use Keep Trucking. It's just a click of a couple buttons, and then that's it. I have the miles, every single state that individual ran, and you're going to put them in here. So you may not even need to do this actual form, because also if you never ran that truck because you bought it after June, then it's not necessary. Okay? If you had a Florida only tag and now you're getting an apportioned IRP, it's not necessary. This is important for guys who are renewing. This is important for those guys who had these trucks during this time here under somebody else. So again, you would populate whatever miles you were doing, the gross weight, 80,000, okay? And you would sum it all up on the bottom as a total, okay? I don't know the actual formula, how directly this affects how much money you pay, but I do know that that's why nobody pays the same for their IRP account. It's not a blanket statement for everybody. It's got something to do with this calculation here. All right, and then it's going to ask you simply for the original IRP application, has this truck ever been on an IRP account? If yes, what jurisdiction? So again, if this guy bought it after June, it's never been under one, not in his possession anyway, so it's no. But if you were running under company tags since April, and you got, and you ran it under, let's say ours, for example, and it was under Illinois, so you would list that there. And then the miles up here would be reflected as to what you did since you purchased that truck, okay? Does this fleet or vehicle have history of Florida IRP registration? And again, they're talking about with your possession of it, right? So no, has registered, never been suspended or revoked. In this situation is going to be no. Okay, so that's the actual application. So once you have this application, again, you're going to print it out, you're going to sign it, it's going to be original signature, that's going to be on the top of the pile. Don't forget that needs to be accompanied by your record keeping agreement, which has to be notarized and also has to be an original form. Okay, once you have that, then you're going to also line up your your record keeping, the certificate of insurance, which again is provided by the carrier, the authority that you're running under, okay? And then your proofs of address, we talked about that, your driver's license, bank statements, taxes, registration to your vehicle, property tax, whatever the case may be, will all satisfy that. A copy of the title. If it's a lease to purchase, it's the copy of the title front and back, along with your lease agreement with who's ever leasing you the truck, whether it be Lone Mountain, transport funding. It doesn't matter. You just have to have that lease agreement, okay? And a copy of that title. And it'll be your 2290, your actual lease agreement itself with the carrier. I would just submit all pages and copy of your driver's license. That's pretty much it. All right, so there you have it, guys. That's how to get your IRP account. I hope I didn't confuse you, but instead I hope I was able to help you out a little bit. Again, it's not that difficult. Just being organized will get you there. So again, if you have any questions, I'm going to list my number below. I do what I can, and if I can't find an answer, definitely find somebody who can. So we'll talk soon, guys.